Hi, my name is Daniel Anyebe. I'm a Nigerian. I'm a PhD student in the discipline Economics and Finance at the Department of Economics and Economic Policy in Agribusiness, Poznan University of Life Sciences, Poland. I'd like to share some thoughts from my PhD dissertation, which is the anchoring effect. This psychological effect is not preventable, but weakening its effect is possible. Experts and even experienced people are susceptible to this effect. Anchoring was first theorized by Amos Tversky and Daniel Kahneman in 1974. Anchoring effect is a cognitive bias whereby an individual's decisions are influenced by a particular reference point or anchor. Now, this can further be explained in simple terms as if people are presented with a particular reference point, they only deviate a little. In other words, people do not deviate far from a given value. Now, in the first experiment, Kahneman and Tversky asked two groups to determine a score of 8. The only difference being that the first group saw a score of 1, 2, 3, and in that order, and the second group saw a score of 8, 7, and in that order. You would notice that the first group had their multiplication in ascending order and the second group in descending order. Because the participants had enough time, as they were timed just 5 seconds, when the first multiplications gave a small number, because the sequence started with small numbers, the median estimate was 512. When the sequence started with large numbers, the median estimate was 2,250. However, the correct answer is 40,320. Now, people determine the final number based on the results of the first multiplications. As a result, the first group estimated based on the lower anchor and the second group estimated based on the higher anchor. Hence, the results were so significantly different between the two groups. In another study by Tversky and Kahneman, participants observed a roulette wheel that was predetermined to stop on either 10 or 65. Participants were then asked to guess the percentage of the United Nations that were African nations. Participants whose wheel stopped on 10 guessed lower values, 25% on average, than participants whose wheel stopped at 65, 45% on average. The results of the experiment indicated that the final result was heavily biased by the anchor, even though the respondents could not see that the number came from the roulette and were not intentionally provided by the researchers. The lack of reliability did not protect the respondents from anchoring. Now, drawing on the findings of Kahneman, which has application in different contexts, in our everyday life, we encounter this experience. Now, imagine if you were shopping for a jacket and saw the initial price of $120, then the $55 seems like a great deal, right? The saving is more than 50%. Now, this deal cannot be passed up if you live in a warm climate. Advertisements such as this can influence buyers to think that they got the best deal. In the second example, imagine if you were to buy a car and you meet a car vendor who tells you the price of the car is 10,000 euros. You are not likely to deviate further away from this price if you bargain for 7,000 euros. Now, imagine, again, if the vendor sets the car price at 5,000 euros and you bid for 4,000 euros. Notice how the anchoring effect plays here. So long as the seller or vendor adjusts the price, you tend to fall within a price range not further from the initial quoted amount. However, if you knew better the actual price of the car, you will have priced better. Having seen how the anchoring effects affects our everyday living, how do we prevent these effects? First, know the weakness of your mind. Second, delay decisions as often as possible. By so doing, you tend to research more about the product or the item you intend to purchase. 3. Always drop the anchor first. By being the first anchor, you tend to be in an advantageous position. I hope that with our knowledge of the anchoring effect and how it affects our daily living, we can make better and improved decisions. Thank you and bye.